the topics we're going to talk about. I want you to know when we deal with cybersecurity, what are we talking about? What does that entail? I want to know that you guys understand scams and how they work by the time we leave here. Managing your online reputation, whether that's personal or your business departments. I want you to make safe decisions. That's the bottom line. You need to make safe decisions. Then I want to talk about a little bit of technical concerns. Now, when we deal with cybersecurity, we are thinking in threes. Anything that affects the confidentiality of data or your systems is dealing with cybersecurity. The availability of information or your ability to trust the information. If any of those three things are affected, we're talking cybersecurity. Here's the problem we deal with. Three things control our data: people, processes, and technology. Unfortunately, there's a 90-10 rule. This is why I have a job. 90% of the controls are related to what you guys do. It's based on the end user. 90% of the work in cybersecurity is about the processes and the people. Yeah. It doesn't matter how many technical controls I put in place if a user clicks a link and lets somebody in.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's a 90-10 rule.
Yes.
Now, when we talk about the bad guys, there's a lot of terminology. I know that's hard for a lot of people to understand. They hear words on the media, hackers and crackers. Hackers, we don't like to call everybody a hacker. Those of us in the industry are, slightly perturbed because hacking usually requires a skill. Most of the breaches you hear about in the news do not require a skill. Those people have been given access to large databases, and they've taken the information when they got fired. Most of the major breaches, that's how it occurs. Malware writers, I love this. If I was ever a bad person, I would be a malware writer. I could write one single line of code that takes control of the city of Charleston's network and make a couple $1 million in a heartbeat. That's all I have to do. Malware writers, big job skill. They get paid lots of money. White hat hackers, black hats. White hats usually are the activist type hackers that are bringing information out for the greater good. Black hat usually wants to do something bad. Cyber terrorism. This is what you're hearing about a lot in the news. When people are actively taking down systems that are government related or related to life or limb services, they count as a cyber terrorist. Everything is electronic now, and when you interrupt those electronic systems and that data flow, you can create a serious issue. Then we get cyber scammers. We've all had to deal with them in some form. Now, here's where most people are thinking one thing and it's actually a different thing. Most people think that scams originate from other countries. That's not the case. The people that are wanting your data, wanting access to your systems, and wanting to steal your identity, they are here in the U.S. They are U.S.-based scams. Now, this is what I hear a lot. I don't have a computer. I don't use a computer. My kids don't really use a computer. I don't want them to get on the computer. Technology is ingrained in everything we do, from the phones we carry around, the computers we do have, the gaming systems. Gaming systems now have multi-factor authentication because theft of gaming credentials is a very big market. They want to hold your gaming account and extort you. People have their phones, their houses have technology now. People's houses are connected to their cars, so when they pull in the driveway, the cars turn off the alarm system. If that's not secured correctly, I can drive by and get the same access to your house that your car does. Hacking cars is a thing. People can use a computer program and get access to all the controls in your car. Now, how bad is it? It is fairly bad. 2 out of every 3 Americans has suffered some kind of cyber crime, whether it's a virus, they've fallen for a scam, they've had identity theft. Most don't think cyber criminals will be brought to justice, and that's because usually they won't. You're talking people that usually are US-based, they're hard to track, almost impossible to find, and sometimes we are dealing with other countries. And then the laws have not caught up to the technology. So let's talk about scams. I love scams. You as a City of Charleston employee are a target. They can specifically target you because you have access to what they want, and that's data. Does it have to be sensitive data? You might not even think it's important data. Doesn't matter. If somebody, what we call a bad actor, wants that data, you are now important, and that data is important. There are all types of scams and social engineering techniques. There's shoulder surfing and events like this, when everybody's like checking their phone because you're out of the office. I can see your passcode because I'm sitting behind you. I can see the password you type in your computer. Now, all that I have to do is make a clone a copy of your phone or your computer. I have your code, I can get right in. So that's shoulder surfing, looking over actually shoulder surfing. It's a very easy thing to do. I do it in conferences all the time for purposes of the presentation. Dumpster diving. Shredding information is important. I do not know how many people do not shred information that needs to be shredded. This includes media, CDs, thumb drives, hard drives, anything technology related. That has to be shredded and disposed of properly. If you just break a CD in half, there can still be data on that thing. People can put that back together and pull off information. They actually have CD shredders that turn it into confetti. I love the DoD. You can, the Department of Defense scanners or shredders, you put in a couple of CDs, it comes out with this huge bag of glitter. That's how fine it shreds it. It's sparkly, it's fun. Role-playing, reverse social engineering, online surfing. People will pretend to be other people, bottom line. Now, scams. Here's the 3 common scams. Phishing, phishing, phishing. Phishing is when you get an email and they are trying to get you to do something and trying to click a link, trying to provide them information. One of the really popular ones for government right now is they go online, they figure out 2 departments that might communicate. One of them has information they want. Then they try to pretend to be another area because they've looked online, they see who manages what. They spoof or they pretend to be somebody else. And they request information from the original party. Say, hey, I need, all the account information on these people. And it works because people naturally want to be helpful. They want to get their jobs done. They want to do what's required of them. And so they provide that information without checking to make sure maybe if that information was being requested from the correct source. Phishing. Phishing is voicemail scams. I love Microsoft. Microsoft's a great company. Microsoft is not going to call you as an individual and tell you you have a virus on your computer. How many have got that call? Yeah, okay. Yeah, they don't care about you as an individual. I love them to death. I work with them on a regular basis. They don't know who you are. Hang up. Antivirus companies aren't going to call you. The only people that are going to call you and tell you you have a virus is your IT staff. And if you don't know the person claiming to be your IT staff, hang up on them and call your IT staff directly. That's another affair. Hi, I'm one of the new employees over here. Let's see, the website says Peter. I work for Peter. I need to look at your computer. Yeah. Always verify. Smishing. Whoop, come back. Smishing. Text messaging scams. Those are those random texts you get now. A lot of them say, hey, this is my new number, click this link, it'll put in your contacts for you. And people do it on a regular basis. But now you've not added somebody to your contacts, you've let somebody access your phone and get all your contacts or whatever information you do on your phone. Now, there's 6 areas that you can help identify scams Spelling and grammar. Most companies want to spell things correctly. They do not want to send out emails with errors in them. There is nothing worse than when you hit send and it goes to a couple hundred people, a couple thousand, and then you see a typo. Like, that upsets most people that send emails. So they check and check and check. Formatting. If it looks wonky and the spacing's all off, usually not a professional email. The to address. An email should be sent to you if it's related to you. Your bank company isn't going to be generic and send, hey, credit card user, we need you to do X, Y, and Z. They're going to say, hey, Danielle Cox, I know who you are. This is your account. The from should be from the company. After the @ sign should be who you're expecting it to be from cityofcharleston.org, from wv.gov. It should be the person that's sending it. Fear tactics. This is the big one. This is what gets people that don't deal with this on a regular basis. They open up an email that says, hey, your email is going to be deleted in like 3 days. You need to do this. We're migrating email servers. Do X, Y, and Z, or you're going to lose all your information. Fear tactics. And then incorrect links. They send you somewhere, and it's not where it's supposed to be. Let's play a game. I want to see somebody raise their hand, answer this question for me. Here's an email. Somebody raise your hand. Tell me if it's real or fake. Come on. Okay, I saw it over here first. I have goodies for those that raise their hand. For you, I don't know very well. I saw you. Tossing is not my forte. I'm a nerd. This is fake. This is why it's fake. Here's the biggest giveaway. Google is not going to use their outdated competitor to send their clients emails. It's a Hotmail email. Google Email Owner. It's very generic. Okay, they know your account. They know your name. They also know that their name is capitalized because it is a proper noun. Database and email center. They like to use tech jargon. They try to database, email center, things that are a little more technical. Like, you wouldn't ever tell a customer, hey, my database needs updated. I'm not going to tell a user that. I'm going to do an update. I'm not going to tell you it's a database. Then all the warning information. Within the next 4 business days, or your account's going to be permanently deleted. Here's a warning code even. Okay, they want to scare you. They want you to say, oh, I need that. It's important. I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep my information. So they're trying to scare you. This is fake. Here's another one from PayPal. Somebody yell it out real loud, fast, or show me a hand. Some more candy. Real or fake? I heard it back there somewhere. Your hair stood out. I heard it from back here. I'm pretty sure it was you. This is not fake. This is actually real. I like people participating. This is real. This is real because it does not provide a link. It tells you, hey, go out to the website. Don't click a link here. Go out to the website and do this action. Go to the action. It's giving you the control. It's also telling you, hey, we're never going to give you your password out. It's actually the recipient email. It's going to a specific user. Okay, this is real. Real or fake?
Fake.
Oh gosh, I mean,
Try.
yeah, no, this will have like a spread effect, and I'll get like 6 people. This is fake. Typos. Incorrect link. What this one's trying to do, it's getting an image off the actual website and putting it in the email so that you think it's legitimate. This is a very common tactic. It's fake. Now, these, we're not gonna play the real fake game on this one. I mean, I can still chuck candy, but. Facebook. Facebook and social media. Eat at the Cheesecake Factory for free. Just click this link. Okay, here's the thing. If it sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. Okay, so there's essentially no information in here, none. Okay, you get a $100 dinner voucher. Really, somebody's gonna give away free $100 dinner vouchers? It's fake. Here is what a real phishing or a real Facebook campaign or advertisement looks like. It has complete information, the name of the company. It's got a barcode that you can use on Facebook, on their website, in the store. It's got expiration information. It's got all the appropriate disclaimer. It's also got a share offer, like Plum. It's got a legitimate Facebook button. Those of you that are active Facebook users will note that you don't see too many legitimate Facebook offers. So start thinking about all the things you've clicked on that aren't actual Facebook offers. They're trying to redirect you to other websites, to other Facebook sites, or to download viruses on your computer. This is my favorite Facebook scam. This went up, and in about 3 or 4 seconds, it went out to almost 400,000 people. Everybody wanted their free McMuffin. Darn it, I want a free McMuffin. So they all went to this website that was provided, followed the instructions, and downloaded a virus. 5 minutes later, a couple million people had already put a virus on their computer. 5 minutes, that's all it stayed up. A couple million people. So it's effective. Dangerous, but effective. This is fake. This is the new ones that people are seeing. A friend posts something, usually with what we call clickbait. It makes you want to click it. And then they even go so far as to post a comment. This user has not posted this. This user has a virus on their computer that posted it for them. Now they want everybody else to click on it. Try to avoid clicking on anything that looks, too amazing, too scary, too newsworthy, honestly. If somebody, one of my friends posted like OMG, my friends don't say OMG. You got to look for clues. Look for the character of the person posting the information. See if it matches. If you really, really want to click on it, ask them. You will see, unfortunately, the one that pops up the most that looks like this is porn. It will actually post porn and provide a comment, and then everybody freaks out like, I think somebody hacked your Facebook. No, they have a virus and it's posting porn to try to get more people on their website. Yeah, it's sad. Again, what a real one looks like. Appropriate information, a code that can be used online and offline, valid disclaimer information. Got to look for it. Now, when you're dealing with hoaxes or scams, there are a couple sites, and we're going to provide this presentation. Peter's going to post it on your intranet so you guys can have access to all of it and all the links that are provided. These websites, you can look at it and search for whatever it is you're questioning. Those giant rattlesnake pictures where it's like massive snakes, or I see a lot like the hunting pictures, trophy bucks, things like that, horror stories. You can go and look at Snopes and these hoax busters, and they'll tell you whether it's real or fake. They've done the investigative background to it, and they have how it originated. And it's actually kind of interesting to see how those hoaxes originated and what they have been turned into and emailed about. Okay, identity theft. This is more for you as an individual than as a business, although businesses can have their identity stolen. On average, it's going to take you about 30 hours to deal with identity theft. Has anybody had their identity stolen? Okay. couple people. It affects a lot. And a lot of the times, it's nothing you can do about it. It's companies that let your business information get stolen. On average, it costs about $500 out of pocket. So you can wake up on a Saturday morning and be out $500 or be the whole $500, and you can't get it worked out until usually Tuesday or Wednesday. So while you're covered by the laws and they reimburse your account, it doesn't happen instantaneously. Usually you're out money first. Now, lost or stolen, a wallet or credit card, about 14%. 4% are from those people that troll behind the mailman and get your mail out of your mailbox. That's about how 4% of your identities get stolen. 13% is during a purchase, because here's our credit card information, and for some reason we love to hand it off to a complete stranger to take away and to scan it and then bring it back to us. So usually that's how cards get skimmed. The chip now helps, but not everybody has chips in their cards yet.
What do you do if that happens? And I've seen it happen. What do you say? You know, do you walk with them?
You mean, do you?
Yeah, I mean, if they walk away, I mean, it's happened.
Me, because I'm a little paranoid, I actually have a prepaid debit card, and if I have to give a card to somebody and it's not going to be in my site, or it doesn't have a chip in it now, which those are kind of filtering out, I will give them a prepaid debit card type stuff where I loan money on it, because I'm an untrusting soul. So the chips help. The chips, you can't skim cards now with the chips. So use a chip if you have one. Don't use an unchipped card if it's going to be out of your possession. So. Now, here's the fun part. All that only adds up to about 31%. Where's the rest of the identity theft come from? It comes from online or companies that lose your information. Companies lose a lot of information. Target, Sony. We give them a lot of data, and we expect it to be secured. And a lot of companies are not following through with that obligation. So it's very important to keep track of who has your data. Consequences of identity theft. A lot of people think, oh, it's one and done. You know, we get it fixed and it's over. Well, that's not the case. Once your banking information or your identity gets stolen, it can cause credit card problems in the future. You can get harassed by bill collectors for bills that aren't yours. You can get rejected for loans. You can have banking problems. You can get rejected for insurance. You can have your utilities cut off. There was this lady in a fairly close state who had her identity stolen 3 or 4 years ago, and basically they rerouted all of her mail for some of her utilities to a different place, and nobody realized it. And she came home and she was like, no utilities. She's like, I really didn't get a call. She didn't. Like, somebody was pretending to be her in another area for 2 years. So, and you can get sued. That's always fun. So, when you're dealing with your presence online, it's called your e-reputation. Basically, if it's electronic, throw E in front of it. It is now electronic. We are dealing with your professional presence. This is how people find you on search engines, on blogs, and in social media. Now, half of you don't actively think about what you do online. Out of that half, 21% on average are going to be fired from a job for posting something ridiculous on social media. 16% are going to lose out on getting a job or a promotion to begin with. Now we've already cut you in half. Another 16% are going to lose their insurance. A lot of insurance carriers are catching people that lie about their insurance, making claims like disability claims, or claiming that they don't smoke or don't drink, and then they post a bunch of Facebook pictures that are really public about them smoking and drinking. Insurance companies have said, hey, enough, that information's public, we're going to start calling people on And then 14%, and this affects to the younger or the group going back to school, have lost out on getting the college they want because college admissions personnel, they look on social media. You know, if you're part of their image, you're part of the city's image. So what you do on social media matters. Like I said, most people, even for people that are picking coaches, activities like that, PTA leaders, schools and other parents are actively looking on social media to see what information's about this person. You know, these people are going to be watching our kids. We want to investigate as much as we can. So they check. And we're going to talk a little bit later about how you can better manage your reputation. But I do want you to be safe. When you're dealing with online information, there are certain pieces of information you do not want to post. Birth information, the year of your birth, the very specific year. That's usually a security question, which kind of ties into the next part. What's one of the security questions the bank will always ask you? Mother's maiden name? That can be found easily with a search engine. You can find somebody's mother's maiden name. That is not a strong security question if you're trying to protect your identity. That's why you get all these weird questions that they'll ask you now. What was your childhood friend's dog's name? This is why. Because the easy to get information makes it easy to get your identity. Oh, physical address and house layout. Okay. And this kind of ties into vacations. A lot of people want to keep lights on at their house when they're on vacation so it looks like they're home. They want people to get their mailbox out. But yet they think nothing of posting on their Facebook to hundreds of people that they're out of their house. I'm down at the beach. Look at me in the pretty beach pictures. They don't know your house is empty. Confessionals. We have a social media policy at the state. You cannot talk about state issues on your social media. You can't speak on behalf of the state unless you are given permission. Confessionals get people fired. Risky behavior. This kind of goes back to insurance. If you do risky things and you post risky behavior, people take note. Things you want to avoid. Anything inappropriate. Drunk party pictures. Thing to avoid. Anything sexual, illegal, discriminating, or demeaning. You don't want to post those things. Try to avoid posting unflattering information about other people, usually because it makes unflattering information about you come back. Anything incriminating, and being digitally non-existent. In this day and age, if somebody can't find anything about you online, that's a red flag for a lot of organizations. If we can't find a phone number and we can't find anything, that's a little weird. So being digitally non-existent is almost as bad as putting too much. You've got to find a happy medium that works for you as an individual. All right, let's talk about mobile security. All right. When you're out and about in the city of Charleston, let's say you want to work from a coffee shop today. So you're here, and you go down to the corner cafe to get some coffee, answer some emails, do a little bit of work. So you pop online, you see, free WB Corner Cafe, there's a wireless hotspot, and you connect to it, and you get out to the internet. What you didn't do was verify with the cafe what their wireless hotspot was actually named. It's the number one thing people overlook. The corner cafe, all that it calls its wireless is Corner Wireless. But you're connected to this free WV Corner Cafe. So who are you connected to? You're connected to some random person that's also in that coffee shop that is now watching every single bit of information you send over your computer connection. This happens on a daily basis. It happens here in Charleston. It happens in every city and every town. It's easy to sniff traffic with what this person's doing. You get your internet access. I just get to see everything you do, including passwords, account information. It's that simple. And you did it. You connected to my little fake hotspot. So you always want to verify what you're connecting to. Hotels, event venues like this. In some of our more technical presentations, we actually bring it's called a pineapple, but we bring a device, we plug it up, and then we see how many phones are set to automatically connect to the strongest network. And then we poll the audience, and we can actually send out text messages to their phones. So, fun times. Now, City of Charleston has a VPN, a virtual private network, and I always like to show people what that is actually doing for you. It's important if you're not in the office to use a virtual private network, a VPN, to connect to the systems. It is protection for your connection, okay? Here's an example. This little guy, he has a VPN. He's got this little safety tunnel where all of his data is traveling. This little guy is not using a VPN. The internet, his data is flowing right through it and nothing is protecting it. Okay, you want to use protection for your connection. That's a VPN. Now, when it comes to physical security, I don't know how many people do this, but it's a lot. Leaving laptops, mobile devices, and electronics laying out in the seat in easily visible places in your car is not usually a good idea. But people do it without thinking. Phones are basically mobile computers now. I mean, you're accessing your bank, you have all your contacts, you have thousands of pictures, but yet we leave it in our console charging all the time. Oh, I'm not going to take my phone in, it needs to charge. People steal it. I know we get a lot of thefts. Of course, we have over 20,000 users. We actually have software that's built into our computers where if somebody steals it, the company then waits for whoever stole it to turn it back on, and then they contact the cops and walk the cops to the laptop, and the laptop is then recovered and brought back to us. It's great. It's expensive. Your personal laptops, your personal stuff, doesn't usually have that protection on it. So you have to think. And it happens at all places. Vehicles, coffee shops, at an office, at somebody else's office. I used to work with a lot of lawyers. Having all your wonderful information at somebody else's office is inherently risky. You want to make sure it's protected. Hotels, airports, libraries, and courts. All places where it is easy to get a hold of unattended laptops, unattended phones, any type of devices. I don't know, people leave their laptops like up and running and then like go to the counter and get coffee, or like they leave it here and then they walk across the hall and chit chat. I mean, just people unplug it and go. That's all it takes. Then they have access to whatever's on the computer and whatever system that computer was connected to. All right. I want to talk about apps really fast for you. Who has a flashlight app on their phone? Yeah, a lot. Did you know there's a couple different flashlight apps? One, the most popular one that has something like 33 billion downloads, its sole purpose is for you to download it so it can get your contact list. It doesn't really want to give light to anything. It just wants you to download it so it can access your contacts and now have a larger advertising base. Okay? So it's really important when you're installing apps on a device to look at the controls. This is an application that's providing background images, screen pictures and stuff. But yet it wants access to your personal information, your phone calls, your system tools, your storage, and your network communications. It should only need access to your storage. It's storing images. So that should be a big clue for you. This one's a little better. It's basically doing the same thing as this one, but you see the difference? This one wants all your information so it can then spam all your friends. Basically, you're a spam creator. You're giving your information out to other people willingly. So you're like, here, take it. I would like to have a flashlight. There's a flashlight app out there that only uses your camera for your flash. That would be the correct app to use. What else can you do when it comes to protecting your online reputation or yourself? Basically, you want to make sure the good goes up, the bad goes down. You want to create your online reputation. Those of you that are in an elevated position or you have a public presence, you want to push good information and ignore or push down the bad. So you do this, you can set searches for yourself. Google Alerts is great. You go to the news section in Google, you do a particular search, your name, your kid's name, your organization's name, and you can save it. And Google will send you alerts every time it sees that. So you get it directly to your inbox. Hey, here's an alert with my kid's name. Here's an alert with my organization's name. I have an alert set up for my name, all my family's name. I see a lot of alerts come in because we're having an event here in October, the end of the month, and so I'm getting alerts all day long as that press release gets sent out. You want to check aliases. If you get called something else, if your kid gets called something else, check aliases. Check other people's social media. If you see something you don't like, there are ways to address it. First, you need to assess it and acknowledge it. The worst thing you can do is try to do this mass, oh no, take it down. The bigger fuss you make online about something, the longer it stays. A great example is Beyonce. She had this really, really unflattering picture taken of her, and she requested that the internet remove it. The internet, or whoever she was talking to, was not amused, and so that became a pretty popular meme, and now that image will live on forever. You try to delete what you can, push up good stuff, promote good stuff. Now, when we talk about technical issues, check my time, okay. Whoops. That was a technical issue. Okay, you want to check privacy settings. Settings are a technical issue. It's one of those technical controls. Check your child's settings. Check your settings. Okay. Anytime you access an app, a game on Facebook, it's letting Facebook or that company access your information on Facebook. Update software at work. Other people are responsible for making sure those pushes get done. At home, though, you need to install the antivirus, and you can't install it and then never touch it again. It's got to update, or it's not doing any good. Antivirus. Now, these are what Peter was talking about earlier, those crypto malware things. These are all fake antivirus screenshots. It's trying to scare you. It's giving you multiple links to multiple companies. This is a fake X. One of the things people usually do is they're like, pop-ups, and they click the X. That X is fake. This is one giant image. It doesn't matter where you click on it. If you click on it, you're going to get a virus. Probably going to lock your machine out now because people want to crypto lock them, which means they encrypt it to a point where the machine owner can't use it. There was one user in an organization that got a warning. It said, hey, your machine's got ransomware, which is the term for the crypto locker stuff. Pay $300 and we'll fix it for you. The user paid $300, didn't even tell the organization. Paid it out of his own pocket. At least it's, there's a lot of that. Same thing, pop-ups everywhere. They want to freak you out. It's the same concept as the phishing scams. They want to put fear in you. A bunch of pop-ups will do that to people. This one, if you actually look, this is a web page. It's not a pop-up. It's actually a web page with an image. Anytime you see something like this and you don't know what it is, hands off, call the IT people. Call somebody else. Because when you click that X, now you're trying to install something and getting your machine locked out. There's also a keystroke. If you're at home, you can do Alt F4. That'll close your window. without you having to actively click on things. Anytime you shop online, make sure you look for a couple keys. HTTPS has to be in there. Usually it'll have padlock symbols, and it'll have icons from trusted third-party links. Better Business Bureau, Trustee Certified Privacy Group. There's some handouts out there to report shopping fraud. When you send mail, it goes from the sender's computer to the mail server to the internet to the recipient's mail server to the recipient's computer. Each one of those little arrows is a place somebody can sit and see your traffic. That's where they can intercept your email. So that's why it's important to always use whatever technical controls your organization puts in place, things like VPN or encryption. Passwords, I won't harp on passwords too much. I know that's one of the things that's constantly beat into people's head. You don't want to reuse passwords. If you have passwords on multiple accounts, that's trouble, because all that somebody needs to do is get into one account, and then they have access to everything else. You want to make it complex, but you need to make it where you can remember it. One of the things we tell people to do is base it off of an activity or a passphrase rather than a password. It makes for more complex passwords. These are what we would consider easy at the state. Actually, I don't think these wouldn't even be accepted in the state. These are stronger passwords. They look hard, but when you stop and think that it's a phrase, it's a lot easier. Instead of a word, it's a whole sentence. I love to play badminton. Thumb drives. Anybody use a thumb drive? Yeah. Thumb drives are a great way to transfer viruses back and forth between your PC, your work PC, and back and forth. It's also a great way to take out information you're trying to keep private. Hard drives, mobile devices, people plug their phones in to computer systems. That's the same as plugging in a thumb drive. Your phone is a computer, and now you're basically connecting it to like a work PC to charge it. You can get viruses, you can send viruses. Same thing with CDs, DVDs, floppy disks, all that stuff. So basically, in summary, I want to just make you aware. I want you to be aware of the scams. The scams, you are a target, you're a big target because you work for a government entity. Manage your online presence and try to stay current. Attend classes like this to keep current with your technical skills and your human skills. We do have a little time for questions. If anybody has any specific questions, or if you don't want to be recorded, you can ask afterwards. Any questions? No questions? I will release you. Thank you.